Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Raila Amolo Odinga has brought the nation to a moment of reckoning. Each and every person is reflecting on his role in the just concluded election, the 2022 August elections. You have seen leaders trying to regroup, re-strategize about the latest development. Very many lobby groups are talking about it. Now, one body that was not left out is the IEBC. It seems from where they sit, they have the same fear. The fear of the unknown and the Raila phobia. Because history speaks for itself. Ever since the international community forced Raila and Ruto to talk for the sake of the nation, there are people who are having sleepless nights because of their roles, indirectly or directly, because of what they were promised. And all these talks is about justification. Abdi Gulie, who is a former IEBC commissioner, weighed in this discussion. It is reported former IEBC commissioner feels betrayed by Raila Ruto talks. You can even imagine someone who is talking and saying that he feels betrayed. Former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, Professor Abdi Gulie on Monday, July 31st, lamented over the ongoing talks between President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga. In an interview with TV24, Gulie complained that the proposed talks between the two leaders were mockery for the IEBC institution and the electoral process. And Gulie is saying that the commission deployed in excess 400,000 personnel across the country during the August 9th, 2022 general elections. You spend a lot of time and thereafter you do not respect the outcome. It is a mockery of democracy. That is what he's saying. And then he adds that Kenyans need to decide whether they want a competitive election or have political barons sit under a tree or Statehouse and agree on how to share power. The former IBC commissioner noted. Look, someone is scared. Someone is afraid. Note that one of the talks is going to surround IEBC. IEBC is going to form part of the negotiations. And Raila Amolo Odinga is pushing for the scrutiny of the Sever in looking at the conduct of the commissioners who participated in the last election. Raila insists that Gulie, Molu, and the former chairman Chebukati belongs to the Hague because they messed up an election. Gulie is scared of two things. One, he wonders how they took their time, resources, and aided William Ruto, protected him, and they became a hero because William Ruto has praised them. If William Ruto is going to cede grounds for any reason, and then they work with Raila Amolo Odinga, that is going to be an indictment to the IEBC commissioners. Because they interpret this as William Ruto was given a victory by the IEBC. So for him to allow for a space to work with Raila Amolo Odinga, if at all, because that is what they feel, then it means that William Ruto is confirming to the nation that he is guilty, and of course the people who gave him this victory are equally guilty, and he feels very bad. They have now been dented twice. In 2013, and in fact thrice, 2013, 2017, and 2022. And Gulie thought that this time round, William Ruto would not sit down with Raila Amolo Odinga on a round table. Because in 2013, they saw a kind of a closed door agreement. In 2017, there was another handshake. Because Uhuru knew very well that the victory that he held was not a genuine one. So he decided to talk with Raila Amolo Odinga. That is the reality. You can take it to the bank. But William Ruto had assured the IEBC commissioners that this time round there would not be any kind of talks, because they knew that William Ruto is such a tough man. They forgot that Raila has a backing of 8 million people behind him. So any kind of imagination that Ruto will talk with Raila Amolo Odinga is scaring them. Number two, someone might have sent Gulie. As people approach the talks that will be led by Obasanjo, they want to legitimize. They want William Ruto to go there with authority, because it will be reported that the IEBC commissioner does not want them to talk. And so even as people go there, you will hear a lot of debate around this, that the IEBC feels betrayed. So he wants William Ruto to go there with authority, that he was legitimately elected, declared by the institutional bodies, independent bodies that are supposed to manage our elections. It could be a ploy just to make sure that the international community, the Kenya Kwanza team, William Ruto, go there with an edge over Raila, because to them, they are still thinking of sharing power, something that might not even be on the table, because the Azimio has said that they are not interested in the nusu mkate. They are also trying to legitimize both William Ruto and trying to sanctify sort of the IEBC, which has got a bad name. As they approach these talks, they know very well that IEBC is going to be dented so much. And so with these talks, he is trying to wash away the sins. If I were Gulie, I wouldn't have revived these talks again, because he is resuscitating something that he will not be able to cool down. There are people who had moved on, and while he's going on national TVs and trying to resuscitate this talk and this debate, let me tell you, hii ni kama kuwaka moto yenye wewe mwenyewe hutazima. It is not going to be very easy for him. Is there anything that he was promised, and he believes that if Raila and Ruto shakes hands, he might not be able to get? That could be another possibility, because if these people come together and talk and they agree that every Kenyan is a taxpayer and they will be spreading development, the national cake equitably, then people who were promised, if at all, people like Gulie were promised anything, maybe were promised something, maybe their relatives or something, then they fear, Gulie might be fearing that he might miss out on that opportunity. Already we have seen Wafula Chebukati's wife being rewarded. I know she's a Kenyan, she's qualified, but she was rewarded for a job well done in quotes by Wafula Chebukati. Maybe people like Abdi Gulie were still waiting for further appointments, and they are afraid that maybe they will miss out. And he has started talking and crying loud. In politics, you don't die alone. You never walk alone. You walk with people. You make noise so that they realize, oh, Gulie is there. And lastly, Gulie wants to walk freely. Because let me tell you, all those who are making noise about Raila, those who are making a name by insulting Raila, if Raila and Ruto decides to put the nation in front and they decide to work together, let me tell you, they are going to be vanquished, because there will be no politics of insulting each other again. I have seen it before. Even in the Azimio, those who have always thrived in insulting the other side, once people agree to work together, they lack any value. And especially, you've seen people like the Trades Minister Moses Kuria lowering the tone and is welcoming the talks, saying that it is good for the nation. Boni Halwale telling off the Mount Kenya fraternity not to take Ruto hostage. It tells you that something is cooking. And so Abdi Gulie wants to be a free man out there, walking freely. But this kind of defense only means that someone is guilty and is running away, trying to justify himself, trying to look for somewhere to hide. What message do you have for Abdi Gulie?